Alright, hello and welcome to our second podcast for the Nerd Hub. I am your host, Trey Griffith, and once again with me is Nerd Hub Editor-in-Chief Jack Flowers, and we are joined by a third guest, whose name is Kelly, even though he's a guy.
Yes, very much a guy.
I'm not sure about that, your voice sounds kind of feminine.
Well, like I said earlier, nothing. I didn't say anything earlier.
Yeah, maybe not.
Nope, said nothing at all. Nothing that wouldn't be.
We didn't have a discussion
offensive at all.
about your name being Trey and you being white. We didn't do that.
Shall we just get that out of the way right now? Actually,
I mean,
let's
that's
get
up to you.
let's get that out of the way right now, just really quickly. My original name was supposed to be Melton William Griffith III, and my mom wanted to call me Trey. But my grandfather talked my parents out of it, and somehow Trey stuck. I have no idea why.
You know what? That was just a less interesting story than I thought it would be. But
I told you it wasn't that grand.
I'm just playing with you, man. That's actually clever.
It's weird. In all honesty, it's
Hey, just FYI, guys,
well,
my your audio on my end is going in and out because for some reason I don't know, my phone's a piece of shit, I guess. So if I don't really catch on, that's why.
Okay, well, technical hiccups, they happen. But anyway, so I'm just gonna chill out today for now, and I'm gonna let Jack take the lead on this one. This is kind of his sort of driven in thing, whereas the last one was kind of mine. So, what are we talking about today, Jack?
All right, so you know what? We're gonna start it off with promos and stuff, but we're gonna let Kelly introduce himself and his interests and what brought him to the hub, and then we'll just kick off with some discussions on some recent news. Okay.
Well, me and Jack met a long time ago, and right away when he said he was doing this nerd hub thing, I was like, you know what, count me in, because I'm a big fan of all Marvel and DC and comics and all that, and the movie scene I'm real big on, so I was like, man, you got to get me on here.
Pretty much, that was exactly the conversation, I think.
Yeah. Right.
That sounds good. Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
Make it simple.
Alright, so, let's, what do you guys think about the Uncharted movie and Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man, being cast as young Drake?
Well, I mean, honestly, I never liked that Spider-Man movie anyway, so I don't know how good Uncharted is going to be. You're talking about the video game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I loved the video game.
Okay.
I mean, it was alright.
Trey? No thoughts? Just don't care?
Well, to begin with, I'm not entirely sure what the point of actually making an Uncharted movie is. I mean, if you watch the movies, they're basically a more energetic Indiana Jones series, so
sure.
What's the point of that?
Right. And
as for Tom Holland being cast as Drake, that's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Just,
right.
Yeah, he looks like he doesn't fit the part. They should have got like Tom Cruise or something for him.
Yeah, when you think of Nathan Drake, you think of like Tom Cruise from like the 80s or whatnot, baby Tom Cruise or whatnot.
Yeah.
You think baby Tom Cruise when you think Nathan Drake. Somebody who's likable but also kind of douchey at the same time, but you still just can't help but love him.
But
exactly.
Here's my take. Tom Holland is the younger, douchey but lovable guy. Just like Tom Cruise, who I fucking can't stand. He ruins every good movie he's in because he only does good movies, but I hate that fucker.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there. But yeah, as far as the Uncharted movie, all we know is that Tom Holland was cast as young Drake. Now, we don't know if it's the whole film's based in that era, which if it is, I think it's a good idea because it's the only Uncharted, pun intended, territory of the franchise. So they could really do something there. And also, nobody said it was going to be a Young Drake only movie. They might just have a dual cast and have him be for the flashback or origins or starting scene or whatever.
Right.
Yep, true.
So, I'm kind of interested in at least seeing the upcoming news for it. But
well, speaking of Tom Cruise, I don't know if we want to segue to the Mummy or something.
oh yeah, that's right, the Mummy in the Dark Universe.
That movie looks like garbage. I'm not gonna lie.
Really, I just thought that I don't know. Look, I mean, by the trailer, it looks pretty good. I mean, I'll give it a shot.
It looks like, to me, it just looks like a generic summer blockbuster, and
True.
They're doing a Bride of Frankenstein movie. They're doing an Invisible Man movie, and at some point down the road, they're gonna do a Van Helsing movie.
They're doing. They announced the other day they're doing The Mummy, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Phantom of the Opera, Hunchback of Notre Dame, and Invisible Man.
What?
As far as Van Helsing and Jekyll and Hyde go, it's unofficial, but there is a Jekyll and Hyde creature, and there was talks of Van Helsing back when they were talking about starting this universe. So we'll see.
Well, as far as that goes, who asked for this? That's my question. And don't get me wrong, I love the Universal monster movies and all that, but it's like, who is actually asking for this? Like, do we really need an entire cinematic universe built around monsters that are kind of cliches now?
Well, my whole thing is Quasimodo. Who's gonna play that guy? I've never seen a Hunchback of Notre Dame as a horror movie. I just don't know where to begin with that, and I want to see some crossovers.
I actually would agree. I really like the Disney version of that film back in the day. Yeah. So I'd like to see a horror version, a more grown-up version, and see where they take that.
Right.
They did do crossovers with horror movies back in the 30s and 40s, right?
But not with the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, that one sticks out to me. That one right there. It's like
everything else is for me is but that one I like the idea of.
So. Yeah.
Guess who they have playing the Frankenstein monster?
Who's that?
Javier Bardem.
Fuck, who the hell is that?
Wait, I don't even know who that guy is.
Oh God, No Country for Old Men.
Oh yeah.
Bad guy. Yeah, Sugar.
Yeah.
Oh wow. You know what? I could kind of see that.
Yeah.
I mean, who would play Quasimodo though? I mean, let's just think about that for a quick second. If I had to cast somebody.
Well,
do you think they're gonna? You think they're gonna
like a Danny DeVito, bring him out of retirement?
Yeah, I was
something.
like, do you think they're gonna put like a short guy in there, or
a short hunchback, or they're gonna do like
either that, or it'd have to be an actor who's like really physical.
So like a Daniel Day-Lewis just gets his another Oscar.
Get a little crunch on.
Yeah, he's a good method actor. Hides in a fucking in the clock tower.
Yo, you guys. Speaking of Javier Bardem, actually, he's the villain in Pirates 5. Just little fact.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that later. We'll talk about that. Yeah, but as far as the dark universe, or the Universal monster movie universe, I really don't care. In all honesty, if the Mummy was to flop and all their plans were to go up in smoke, I wouldn't shed any tears about it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I have to agree. Even with the Notre Dame thing, it's still as a whole,
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd have to really impress me with some visuals for me to really enjoy that.
And what you also have to consider is that the entire cinematic universe is being done by what's his name, like Alex Kurtzman or something like that, who you probably better know for the Amazing Spider-Man movies and the Star Trek reboot movies.
Enough said. Yeah, enough said. Garbage. Good.
Yeah.
Hey, I like the Star Trek reboots. Okay.
The Star Treks are good. The Star Wars, you know what? They lost me with all the.
Oh, dude, that's right. We didn't even decide to talk about Star Wars. We're definitely gonna probably have to talk about Star Wars because I swear.
A lot of issues with that. A lot of bones to pick with that one, or what?
Yeah, with the Han Solo movie.
You know what? That's for another day.
Yeah, definitely. Because I'll rant for an hour for that.
Yeah, we'll make our own little thing. Bashing Star Wars.
I will end you.
Yeah.
All right, let's
start talking a bit more about new stuff real quick. So apparently, it's not really a good segue, but apparently the Sony is actually moving forward with their own little
Shared Universe.
Spider-Man cinematic universe without Spider-Man. They actually have a Black Cat and Silver Sable movie coming out. They finally announced Tom Hardy as Venom a couple weeks ago.
Great.
Which actually broke while we were doing our podcast.
Our last podcast, it broke while we were doing it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was weird. That was some weird timing.
As far as Tom Hardy goes, I'm completely behind Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm on board with that.
And I'm also completely behind the Venom movie itself as well because there's a lot of symbiote shit you can go dive into. You can bring Carnage, anti-Venom, all that. Black Cat and Silver Sable, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean,
well, my problem with the whole idea of the Venom movie is, does anybody really care about that unless, he starts off as a Spider-Man antagonist, though?
I mean, I think that they had the Venom comic back in the day, right? I mean, I don't know.
Well, yeah, but originally, okay, so let me flex my nerd muscles here.
I didn't even hear what the fuck he said.
They had the Venom comics back in the day. They still do have Venom comics to this day, actually, but the original time Spider-Man put on the black costume was during a crossover event in the 80s called Secret Wars. Okay?
I got you.
And eventually he yanked it off, and it turned out to be because it was fucking with his head, and it turned out to be the symbiote got onto Eddie Brock, and for a while they were going at each other's throats. This was during, I think, the early 90s. I can't remember exactly when.
Yeah.
The best era in history.
Right.
Yeah.
Todd McFarlane, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I believe Todd McFarlane was the one who actually created Venom. No, he created Venom as well.
Oh,
but
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that guy's brilliant.
Not really.
Trey's got a big bone to pick with him because Todd McFarlane's shady
he's a shady motherfucker, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you know what? You got some beef with Todd McFarlane, man. That's crazy. I never heard of that.
I got beef with Akiva Goldsman.
A lot of people have a beef with Todd McFarlane. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
But as far as Venom goes, he was originally an antagonist for a very long time, and originally the character wasn't supposed to actually last as long as he did, but he proved so popular that they just kept him around, and they turned him into an anti-hero.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure how you take Venom and just automatically put him in a hero role unless they're gonna do like some Punisher stuff with him.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm thinking that's where they're gonna go because they said, what is it, sci-fi horror? They're going with.
Yeah, I wonder if it's gonna be like an origin thing still, like you said with the whole Spider-Man thing, or they're gonna like make up an origin for him, or is it gonna be in space?
Yeah,
I mean,
who knows?
Because Sony, without Spider-Man, knowing Sony, they would do some shit like that, and that's what worries me.
As long as it results in a Spider-Verse movie like 8 years or so down the line, I'm okay with this.
That's what me and Kelly were talking about earlier. Right now, it doesn't look good, but I'm actually behind it because you got to keep in mind that after the two Infinity War Avengers and the Homecoming sequel, Spider-Man's going back to Sony, so they might just drop him in an already established universe. Yeah.
Wait, what?
You didn't know that? Yeah,
I did not hear
he's
that.
only on contract for two Avengers films and a Homecoming sequel.
Oh shit! I did not know that.
Yeah, and then he goes back to Sony. So I'm thinking maybe they're just gonna establish a universe for him and drop him in.
That makes sense.
That's a little
Still-
disconcerting.
It's still unorthodox.
Yeah, it is unorthodox. Yeah, no, you're right.
It really is.
But-
Well, it could, it may be that, towards the end of that, they might just renew the contract between them because everyone's making so
Yeah,
much money.
well, that fuck. I don't know, cause like, I don't think Sony would renew the contract unless both of them could use the same.
Well, I think with Sony doing all these rated R movies, though, I mean, I think they're really saving their own ass right there by starting out with Deadpool and the Logan.
Fox.
No,
Fox.
Deadpool,
Fox.
Fox.
Oh, that was Fox. Yeah, apologies. Yeah.
But yeah, Fox. They're making a comeback because of that R-rated stuff. Now I don't know if it's because it's R-rated or because their movies are actually getting good, or maybe both. But
Logan may have been a glitch in the Matrix.
Right.
well, I mean, a lot of people like Deadpool. A lot of people like Logan.
Nobody liked Apocalypse.
Nobody liked Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, yeah. I mean, he's got to be the most boring character, even though he's like one of the most powerful. I mean, that energy that comes out of his eye could chop a mountain down. So I just don't know why he's not featured in more stuff.
To have Apocalypse as a villain so big like that and have such a potential in a movie and to fail so epically, it's just like, yeah. And that's the thing, I don't know, because that movie wasn't rated R, so that's why I don't know if it's
even though it did have a lot of violence in it that was actually very R rated, just lacked the gore.
Yeah, like blood and stuff. Yeah.
I remember that first sequence, like when you saw Apocalypse, you saw the first sequence of events, where he's in ancient Egypt. I'm like, oh my god, what happened? What is he doing? That guy? Oh! I was just like, oh, this is actually really damn good. Is the rest of the movie gonna be this good? Oh no.
Yeah, I was disappointed by the way he looked too a little bit. He kind of reminded me of like one of the villains from Power Rangers.
I even ooze.
Yeah, the ooze. Yeah.
Everybody says that, damn it.
I swear though.
But as far as Fox goes with it, I know they're doing another Deadpool movie. They're doing a New Mutants movie, which, from what I've heard, is going to be some kind of.
It's going to be a horror, sci-fi type thing as well.
Yeah.
And and you know what? And that's what I'm talking about. They're redoing the Dark Phoenix. They got another another regular X-Men in the works. They got the New Mutants. They got another Deadpool and an X-Force movie in the works. Fox is coming up.
Well, I'm not sure what they're going to be able to do with the Dark Phoenix movie, though, at this point.
Well, I mean, with the new timeline and shit with, what's her name from Game of Thrones? Sophie Turner?
Well, the problem, though, is that I'm having with it is that... first off, the rumor is that it's going to be Simon Kinberg directing it, for one thing, and if you look at all the X-Men movies he's done, they're all the bad ones, really.
Yeah.
Right.
Except for really Days of Future Past, but I think that had more to do with Bryan Singer actually doing a decent job with it than anything else.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that's my one downfall there too. I don't want Kinberg on it because not nothing against him personally, like we have with McFarlane and Akiva, but just he doesn't have a good track record, and at this point, Fox is on the come up, and if you have another bad film, they're gonna be like flukes.
No one's gonna trust another Fox movie, another Fox X-Men movie.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Especially if they botch such a big storyline that they've already botched before.
And let's face it. You don't got Hugh Jackman in it making a little cameo. It's like, what the fuck? I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's not untrue at all. And plus, really, they don't need to make any more movies at all. In all honesty, Logan was pretty much the definitive ending of that entire franchise for me.
Yeah, it's all gonna end not just anyway. For the character, but for X-Men altogether.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next topic, and then we'll take a break and discuss some of the things we've been working on. So, Hellboy.
New movie.
Reboot. Which we tried to put on the other podcast, but we didn't have time for. And I just want to point out, and Trey knows what's coming. I was at C2E2, and Ken Levine, who was behind, he's behind a bunch of comic projects throughout history. Howard the Duck, the original Hellboys, and such. So, and he's doing Preacher. That's what he was there for. But he was asked about Hellboy, and he said, within the next 3 months, you'll see something for Hellboy. And
did he say,
I told Trey, and Trey's like, I don't know about that. But if it is, it's a reboot. And I was
guess
like,
what
I think he's
happened?
telling the truth. And it's a reboot, and it was within a month. And
wow.
And it's like, yeah, it's like it's probably gonna be a reboot or something like that. Like, oh fuck, I called that one, didn't I?
Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna let too much information out, but yeah, if I do it, it's gonna be a reboot, and such actor. Huh.
It was pretty cool that he was there for Preacher, and he pretty much gave a spot on timetable for Hellboy. So that was pretty cool.
And apparently it's going to be an R-rated one, and it's going to be directed by Neil Marshall. And Neil Marshall, he's an interesting director to say the least.
The reason they are looking at him, I guess, is for his work on the cult horror film The Descent. But I mean, other than that, he hasn't really done anything that matches this criteria. So we'll see.
He did a movie called Dog Soldiers, which is basically it's a really schlocky POS in all honesty, but it's a fun schlocky POS.
That's the thing, is they're all like cults or like
because there was he did another one called Centurion, which actually had Michael Fassbender in the lead role. I think pre Prometheus. I think I could be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a centurion. He's running across Britain trying to get home from behind enemy lines. It's not great. But it's gory as shit. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like they stab somebody and then it just. Okay, did you guys see the Samurai Jack, the original series?
Yeah, when it first came out, I seen a few.
Okay, so you know the first episode where like Jack is fighting that army of Aku beetle droids, and he's like cutting parts of them off, and they have oil spraying everywhere.
Yep.
Well, that's Centurion, only in blood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. it's just
so
like
he relied the movie on gore much.
Yeah.
Kill Bill style.
Yeah, pretty much.
Over the top.
Yeah, very over the top.
So anyway, it won't be Ron Perlman, obviously, because it's a reboot. But the guy that will be playing Hellboy is David Harbour, who played the sheriff in Stranger Things recently.
Oh yeah, I did know that. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be interesting.
I'll show you a picture.
Well, I mean, I like the original guy, man. He was like.
He's also like 70 years old at this point. I don't think
that's why Trey was like, it's gonna be a reboot because he's too old.
Yeah, true that.
Don't get me wrong. I love Ron Perlman. I hope he lives to be 1,000 years old. But it's like,
right.
There's certain physical limits you have to. You have certain physical limits at certain ages, and you have to acknowledge them.
Sure. I think what I just saw a picture of this guy playing him, and
hey, you know what?
I don't know.
He's like 40s.
You know what though? I just don't know if he's the face of Hellboy though. I don't know, just me.
I haven't read I haven't read a single Hellboy comic, so I really can't.
In this day and age, you don't need the face to fit the prosthetics because they got CGI and prosthetics are way better. I mean, did you see Killer Croc?
Yeah.
So, that's true.
I think.
And you know what? Don't talk about age has its limits because Harrison Ford fucking broke his leg on Star Wars sets.
Harrison Ford was probably fueled on cocaine that entire thing to keep him functional. That's all I gotta say about that.
He got his leg caught in a hydraulic door.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he was too slow and old to get out of the way from a fucking hydraulic door.
Exactly.
It's like, jeez, that should just be a statement against why these old fucks should stay out of Hollywood.
We're just joking. I swear, people. We don't mean this.
Oh, disclaimer, Todd McFarlane, if you're listening to this, you're a cool guy.
Bring it on, motherfucker! Bring it on! I'm getting these things on Twitter. He's gonna help me out. He's gonna back me on this.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying, speak for myself. If Todd McFarlane needs to be, you know what? I'm hoping he just got done with that script for Spawn, and I don't know how you feel about Spawn, but I can't wait. I hope they do something good with that.
I would like to see a decent Spawn movie.
As bad as Todd McFarlane's rep as a person is, his work is still good, and I'm not gonna hold
sure
that
you
against
separate
his work.
the person from the work,
right? I like Spawn,
too.
so I'm actually really interested in the new Spawn whenever he gets it out, because I could still watch the animated series, still.
Yeah, a funny story about that actually. I actually did see the animated series, but it was in a weird way where like each season was cut together as a movie.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was just like
right. It was like 3 long episodes.
Yeah, and I remember watching this, and I'm just like, this is really drawn out. The pacing of this is really bad. And I looked it up, and I'm just like, oh, that explains it.
Mm-hmm. I used to love that series, and but when I go back to it now as an adult, because that came out such a long time ago, I was like, they could do so much more with this Spawn character, and just I don't know, they should have just kept it going somehow.
In my mind, Keith David's voice is the voice of Spawn.
Yep, no doubt.
All right, so we're about, I'd say, 25% way through the discussions. So, Trey, why don't you I
think Trey's recording from his bathroom.
Okay. There we go. It's recording again. Sorry about that.
No.
For some reason,
you're gonna have to like space that out and listen to it and shit and all that.
Oh yeah, no, I am well aware of that.
So anyway, yeah, Trey stopped his recording and made a big blooper, but hopefully this turns out well. If it doesn't, blame him.
It's all Trey's fault.
It's all Trey's fault.
He's got a black guy's name.
It's all Trey's fault. Everyone blame Trey because it's the easiest thing to do.
So anyway, like I was saying, we're pretty much a quarter, if not more, through the news segments that we're going to discuss. So Trey, why don't you fill us in on what you've been doing and what you got coming up and such again?
Well, I've amazingly just drinking this big ass bottle of vodka in my room. I've been lazy.
Nice.
No, but in all seriousness, I barely drank any of it. Actually, I'll have you know.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Very
I'm not a drunk. No, but right now, between May and April, I was a little burnt out between work and all the stuff I did all at once. It seemed like. Mm-hmm. So I've kind of been just sort of taking a step back and just sort of relaxing.
Right. You've been writing scripts though, right, for your upcoming tabletop show and such, and preparing for AwesomeCon, right?
Well, I was getting to that.
Well, you talk a little slow. You talk a little slow. I'm just saying. Had to cut you off.
Jack's getting impatient.
I'm hardwired on coffee. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I didn't get any coffee myself this morning, so I'm just drinking a Diet Mountain Dew.
Ooh.
Yeah. So anyway, like I was saying, as far as the scripts goes, I did an outline for the first. Well, actually, I've written the script for the tabletop promo one. We mentioned that in the last podcast. Go watch it.
Yeah, for real. If you're watching this, you better watch our first podcast. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I got that. But yeah, I got the promo script done. But I'm not going to shoot that until I've actually got everything set up for the other one, and that's going to be the actual first episode of that. I have the outline for it. That one is going to be a little bit more complicated to shoot than I thought it was going to be, because when it comes right down to it, it's a little difficult to make this subject interesting. Because otherwise you're just gonna have somebody on the camera just talking and them rolling dice, and that's just boring. So I'm putting together some more stuff and adding some more things in to actually make it a little bit more interesting. You'll see what I mean when I actually put the script together.
Right.
Oh yeah, definitely check that out.
And the Prey 2 one, it's the Prey review. It's still coming. It's just that the game is not bad, but it doesn't really invoke strong emotions with me. It's just sort of a thing that exists, and so it's really difficult for me to actually just sit down and just start churning this stuff out, especially when I have Witcher 3 right in my PS4 and I really like to play. I really want to play it.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of,
one more thing.
Go ahead.
We'll get.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
No, after you. What's your Netflix series? Let's go ahead. Go ahead.
That's what I was gonna go with. Yeah.
Netflix series. Yep.
Since he was talking about Witcher, the Witcher Netflix series is coming out, and it's supposed to be based off the books, not the games. And the guy who wrote the books is supposed to be heavily involved.
Okay.
I think don't quote me, but I think it's supposed to be R-rated.
Okay.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I'll see that.
It should be. Yeah.
I have read the first book, a collection of short stories called The Last Witch. Wish, W-I-S-H, now W-I-T-C-H.
I bet you people get that confused.
Maybe. The Last Wish, When You Wish Upon a Star. I'm not going to say the series is bad, but I'm not entirely... I'm not sure how you make a show series out of that, because most of the stories kind of involve kind of Geralt just hunting monsters, and they just sort of kind of flash back to other instances. They're short stories when all is said and done. They would have to either kind of make it into sort of an anthology show, which would get really expensive really fast, or they would have to do something like what the games did, and just start taking and just put together some kind of original story that just takes elements of the books out and just puts them into their main narrative. That's gonna be interesting to see how it turns out.
We were talking about that, and I think with you're saying they're short stories, so they might just do an episode per story type thing.
They might. But I've been reading a book called Sword of Destiny, which is the second collection of short stories they did. And the first story in it is they're fighting a dragon.
Oh boy.
I am not sure how a Netflix show is going to be able to afford
Right.
that.
I was about to say the same thing. Like, what's the budget on that one?
I don't know. I mean, Game of Thrones is probably the most expensive show being made, and even those dragons aren't always convincing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm not sure how Netflix is going to be able to afford that. We'll see though. We'll see.
I mean,
I don't know. Well, they canceled a bunch of shows recently, so.
Yeah, they made room for it.
Well, that makes sense. It's possible. It is possible.
Back to what we were doing, though. I cut you off. You're doing Awesome Con this week, right? Or you're leaving?
Everything is awesome. Next week, yes.
Next week?
That's, next week. I'm going to be leaving Thursday, either morning or afternoon. I'm going to be heading up to Washington. And I had been looking at their panel lineups. I am going to be so busy that day. That whole weekend during that con. It's they have a lot of interesting things going on. A bunch of Q&As with writers, artists, and whatnot. And they're gonna have Stan Lee there. They're gonna have Scott Snyder there. They're gonna have Dave Capella, the guy who drew Batman.
Greg Capullo?
Oh yeah,
Capullo. Yeah. I was actually showing Jack a promo for that, and you know what? It's you have Greg Capullo standing there, and he is like shouting into this mic like a WWE wrestler.
He's shooting a promo.
He's acting
like
it's
Goldberg
Greg Capullo, and here's Scott Snyder, and I'm
and I'm coming for you. What you gonna do, brother? You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Scott Snyder's just standing there like he's just trying not to crack up. He's just trying not to burst out laughing. He is restraining himself so hard.
Nice.
Oh man. So
but
a couple things.
Also, Tom King is going to be there.
Who's
Probably
gonna be
going to net Tom King.
Okay.
He is the writer of the current Batman series. And definitely going to nag him. He does not have a Q&A scheduled for the convention, so I'm probably going to just start harassing him over at his desk.
Yeah, there you go. Just provoke an answer. You know?
Exactly.
Yep. You know,
Get kicked out of AwesomeCon 3 days early and stuff.
Yeah, hey, why not go out with a bang? You know, great material.
It's like I know, you know. Where's the gold, Tom? Where's the gold? I know you have it. You hit it in Iraq.
Where's the trigger?
Used to be the CIA.
Yeah, we all know you're an agent.
No. He actually used to be with the CIA before he became a writer.
Yeah.
Oh, is that how he was able to do? But he was the artist, not the writer of Batman, was he?
No, he's the
Tom
current
King
writer.
is
Oh, he's the current writer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Current writer of Batman.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, he used to be with the CIA. It's like,
Oh, so
Much like, Tom Clancy just decides to write books about shit he's not supposed to write about,
you would call that culture vulture. Call that.
But yeah, no, he's actually, believe it or not, Tom King actually comes to. I live in Richmond and he lives in Washington, so he actually comes down here all the time.
CIA.
I would see him at conventions all the time. So I never really had the guts to talk to him because I was always shy. But I'm probably gonna.
Hey Trey,
him this time.
AwesomeCon's in Washington, right? You better
Yes,
watch yourself because Tom King might just be watching you.
Oh.
I slowly shrink down. Make sure there's not a sniper laser looking through my window.
Yeah, if you see any strange vans parked outside.
Hey, he's gonna hit you for Todd McFarlane's comments.
Yeah, better watch out if they're not buddies.
I don't really think Todd McFarlane has any more friends. I think the only people who like him is probably his wife at this point.
Listen, man, you really gotta off the air come to me and tell me what the beef really is.
There's an article on our website that pretty much covers in some of what he does.
The short version of this is that there was a really big scuff up between him and Neil Gaiman over the rights to various characters that the two supposedly co-owned.
Oh.
And I was completely on Neil Gaiman's side in that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, some shady shit. It's much like Stanley and Jack Kirby's.
Oh, enough.
Yeah, it's a lot like that. Only with this, it was pretty obvious who was in the right on that one.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, then you know what? I rehold judgment till I reserve judgment till I see the full facts then. Because I'm a big Todd McFarlane fan, but, it's not like I ever met the guy in person, so, he could be a jagoff, I don't know.
But for real, anyone listening who's interested, there's a little segment about that on one of Trey's original comic book spotlights about Miracleman, so you might as well go read that. There's 4 installments.
I think it's at 5 at this point now.
Oh yeah, it's 5 now. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll definitely check that out.
But that article is called, I think it's the Miraculous
Marvelous
History of Miracleman, of Marvelman, or is it?
I think it's Marvelous.
It's one of the two. I can't even. I get them mixed up too.
Something. It's something. You'll find it.
It's either the Miraculous History of Marvelman or the Marvelous History of Miracleman. I'm not sure which it is. I even get them mixed up.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like we are all over the place today. We are all over.
So I'm gonna mention something. all of the AwesomeCon coverage, whether it's posted on Facebook or the website, it'll all be rounded up and put on our events, giveaways, and contest page, much like our C2E2 photo collage. So you can find it there afterwards if you don't know where to look.
A lot of the videos I'll be recording will be on my YouTube channel, so yeah. Or the Nerd Hub YouTube channel.
Right. But much like the podcast, we put everything on the website afterwards as well. So, and actually, speaking of events, giveaways, and contest page, we just recently did the Captain Underpants Wonder Woman double feature and Ignite Gaming Lounge meetup. Right. So, if you guys are interested, anyone in the Chicagoland area, check the website out because we do meetup events and go see movies and go to places and such. Also, don't forget about our upcoming Injustice 2 tournament. It's going to be on PlayStation 4 and Xbox. Sign up now.
I'll be winning that. I'll be winning. Place your bets now. No, I'm just playing.
So, since you mentioned Injustice 2, actually, do you mind if I rant for a bit on something? We talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
Or would you rather?
Sure, go ahead.
Or would you rather I just leave this for another time?
No, I mean...
Go ahead. Just keep it short because we still got half a show to go.
You know what? This is not going to be short, so let's just keep going with this stuff in all honesty.
You know what?
Hey, guys, I'm gonna be losing my shit.
Check the links for a special feature rant or something.
Yeah, there you go.
No, like this is gonna take a minute.
Yeah.
In all honesty, so
pretty much, you can actually catch pretty much everything Trey wants to say in his Injustice review article. So.
Well, no, this is actually something completely different.
Completely different, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh, I kind of want to hear it now.
Well, I mean, you're kind of teasing me, guys, a little bit, so
it.
Might as well
do it right now.
Let's hear it.
Okay, well, it involves a certain individual who we are going to call Tom. For the sake of this.
Ooh, hey.
You know what I'm talking about now. Are you sure you want me to rant on about this?
Leave it because we're going to bring that up on another topic coming up. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned.
We're gonna, yeah.
My fucking audio's going out. What?
Jack's having a malfunction.
Yeah, I'm having a fucking malfunction over here too, so.
Well, you better fix it, dude.
Yeah. Well, I can hear you both fine, so
I can't carry the show alone, Jack. I'm just playing.
All right, so we're gonna leave that because I know what you're gonna talk about till we cover the Rotten Tomatoes and May Movie Overload and such.
But let's talk. I want to bring this up. Friday the 13th, the video game. I know you want to talk about that.
Yep. Yes. I'm gonna be doing a review on it. I just haven't had the chance to play it too much. But I will give my thoughts of what I have played right now. And they just released an update. Mm-hmm. The lobbies, you can get into a lobby like that now.
Really? Nice.
And that was pretty much the biggest problem in the start. The controls, obviously, clunky. I wish you could assign your own. Yeah. But it's a simple game. It's only online. It's pretty much the same thing every game. But it's done very well. So it's very fun to play.
It's a little difficult for me to take that game seriously, and for one reason only. The camp counselors' faces. Oh my god!
That's a plus, dude. That's funny as fuck.
It's so funny. It's like, oh my god, what is this? This is like.
Have you played the game yet, Kelly?
I haven't played it yet.
Okay, so when you're a camp counselor and they get scared, they have a fear meter. It affects how they play.
Okay.
Their eyes look, they all like bug-eyed and start freaking out.
And like their jaws are like open, like one of those sad faces you see in like the comedy tragedy faces. And like it's like the tragedy face. It's the funniest damn thing. It's like, my god.
My question is, I haven't played the game yet, but it's like, are you the mom?
So this is how it is. It's basically 8-person lobby. One guy's Jason, 7 counselors. You have to work together to escape or kill them or survive.
You know what? I heard about that.
And you get perks and shit. So
okay. Yeah, I gotta check that out.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh well, you know what? After this, we'll get high and play it. Oops, I'm sorry. We're not supposed to.
What are you talking about? It's 2017. There's legal marijuana.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm pro marijuana.
Is marijuana legal in Chicago now? Or Illinois?
It's the medical uses, but recreational, you're still getting locked up.
Listen, I got twitches, okay? So don't worry about it.
No. You have back problems. That's what you have.
Yeah, I got a back problem. Kelly's a little stupid.
I mean, only when I'm on the marijuana, I get a little slowed up. The function of the brain goes wrong. But you know what? I mean, come on. There's people out here with prescription meds getting tore up.
Yep.
You know, I think marijuana is the healthier route.
I would definitely agree
assholes.
on that one.
For real, because I was just at a hotel in the city. You know what I'm talking about, Kelly. And I swear to God, you come out of the elevator, and these are 2 employees, supposedly. Dude, they're fucking strung out on smack.
Oh,
yeah.
I know which one you're talking about, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I don't think I want context to this. That's all I gotta say. I don't think I want context to this. Okay, so...
we veered off the road a little bit right there.
Right.
So, Godzilla King of the Monsters and King Kong vs. Godzilla both have new directors, correct?
The King Kong vs. Godzilla has a new director.
Okay.
I heard something about someone signing on to King of Monsters the other day. I don't know if it was an actor or director. I didn't read it.
I can look this up real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, look it up while I talk about Adam Wingard, who's directing King Kong vs. Godzilla.
Okay.
And
what's his resume look like?
VHS, The Guest, You're Next.
Okay.
So horror movies, but if you've seen all those, they're good.
Yeah, I've seen VHS. It was a great one.
I'm completely behind Adam Wingard doing the King Kong vs. Godzilla movie. I love Skull Island.
Skull Island was awesome.
Most people didn't like the first Godzilla. In this continuity from Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It was alright.
I
like King Kong. Definitely killed it.
Yeah.
And
Trey?
then the cut scene at the end, I thought got me more excited about the Godzilla.
The final scene.
That was nice. The credit scene they got.
Yeah, that's in case anybody hasn't seen the movie, it's basically the post-credit scene connects King Kong to Godzilla.
And one more thing about the King Kong movie too, the old one. I know it's kind of already little whatever, but I like how he didn't grab the girl and they didn't have him climbing up the Manhattan and all that. You know,
they kept it on the island. I like that.
Yeah,
and
that was awesome.
and I think the film was really well paced, and the fight was like everyone lined up really well and had a reason for why they were there, and it wasn't just like punch. It was like the guy King Kong grabbed an anchor, got choked out with it and shit. Fucking the other guy got hit in the eye with a flare.
And again, when you got Sam Jackson throwing around motherfucker every fifth word,
Okay,
it's just a badass movie.
Okay, so I'm looking up King of Monsters right now on my phone because my computer's being weird. Now, here's the good news, alright? The good news is all those boring-ass motherfuckers from the first movie are gone. They have not returned to this movie. Thank fucking God.
Right, actually, did take a screenshot now that I'm thinking about it. It has, Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things.
Okay.
Looking at, it does. It has Kyle Chandler, this one dude from the West Wing. Charles Dance is in it. Samuel Jackson's kid's in it. Ken Watanabe is still in it, so he's like the one interesting character in that whole movie. So
right, that was the guy that was like let them fight or whatever.
Yeah. I always like seeing that stuff. But who's directing it? Michael. I'm bad with pronouncing names. Dowry, I don't know. And Well, he is best known as a writer for such cinematic classics as Superman Returns, X-Men 2, X-Men Apocalypse, Trick or Treat.
So basically, all the bad movies he was a part of. He had his name attached to it. I don't know.
I'm looking.
Maybe.
No, he was just a writer on those, so it's not entirely his fault. You know, if you look at X-Men Apocalypse, Superman Returns, there was like 3 or 4 different writers on that, and plus there was also the director. Okay, it's a collaborative art.
Okay.
Trick or Treat, I like.
Cut him some slack.
Yeah, but really, is it a coincidence that everything he's in is bad, or?
Ooh, I like that. That's true. That's where I'm going with it.
It does happen occasionally. I mean, yeah.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see, right?
Yeah.
With this one.
Time will tell on that.
I mean, Rogue One turned out to be good, and everything Gareth Edwards had done before was garbage, so...
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep,
hey, you know, one thing that's not on our list of things to talk about, but I just like to throw out there, Animaniacs Reboot.
Whoa, wait a minute. They're doing an Animaniacs reboot?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg.
I grew up on that.
And not only that, but DuckTales already got a season 2.
Wow, DuckTales. You know what? They're just running out of ideas, you know, and they're bringing back all the soul stuff. Even though, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of both of those, so I mean, I don't mind. But you know, some of these things are just like, you know, can we get an original idea going on? You know.
Well, there have been original ideas before, and some of them have actually even lasted a while. But
yeah,
it's one thing I always say about this. In this day and age, after so many projects throughout the years, it's kind of hard to do an original fucking idea.
Oh yeah, even if you do have an actual original concept,
it'd be like, it's a ripoff.
Chances are, yeah, exactly.
You're right. They start comparisons to other stuff. Yeah, you're right. You know.
So maybe it's just better to actually go with the thing that already worked instead of being called a ripoff. Just say.
Well, you know, I mean, a great artist always, steals. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, it's like good artists borrow, great artists steal.
Exactly.
Inspiration.
Nobody's actually sure who said
that.
No,
I was about to say I can't even do the quote right.
Yeah. It's like Steve Jobs credited to
what else do we got up
Picasso,
here? We got
even that was like the earliest mention of it is like some poem from the 1700s. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I almost felt like, when Bush tried to say that one saying and he just like totally messed it up on live TV. You know, he was just like, fool me once and never fool me again. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Jack's having audio issues over here. He's trying to play it off like he's not.
Okay. Is at least still recording? That's all I'm concerned.
Oh, I'm sure it's recording still, right, Jack?
Yeah. The mic's recording. It's just my headset. I can't hear Trey talking. That's why I talked over him. I thought he wasn't talking.
Yeah, he was over there.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Okay, so.
Yeah,
I should be good now.
I'm not sure what.
Well. Are you good, Jack?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump back in the call.
Oh, okay. So he's jumping back in the call.
Okay.
But when are they coming out with are they coming out with another Daredevil series?
Yes. Or? Okay. So that's another topic. The Netflix shows. Next up is The Defenders, obviously this summer, and then in November, one of the episodic directors, the Irish director. Dearbla Walsh or something, I don't know, said that Punisher's gonna air in November, which makes 100% sense. So, and then in 2018 they have Daredevil season 3, Jessica Jones season 2, and Luke Cage season 2 planned. No word on Iron Fist, but they'll do it. They'll do season 2. They'll just bring out a new showrunner probably.
Sure. Well, can we all say we're in agreement that Daredevil's the best out of all those shows? I mean,
oh yeah,
absolutely right. I mean, I can't wait for The Defenders.
I mean, dude, to be fair, Daredevil's had multiple seasons, so it's hard. And they added the Punisher.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're gonna go just season ones, I'd say Jessica Jones.
Ooh, see.
I wish you could see the look.
Dude, me and you both. I was like, Daredevil with the whole Punisher thing, and then not only that, hold on, let's just tell you I love the Kingpin in there too. The actor that they got for the Kingpin.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Gomer Pyle from Full Metal Jacket. I mean, I think it's perfect.
It's Bobby, I believe, from Law
yes,
Order.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just without adding the Punisher, they were pretty solid. But then once they did that, oh my God, they blew it right open.
Yeah.
When it comes to these shows, I have kind of a mixed opinion. I think the first season of Daredevil, it's basically a Christopher Nolan Batman show.
I agree.
Yep.
But but it was basically what the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy just did not have time to be, because it was limited by being just by 3
movies. That's actually a good
analogy
good
analysis. I don't know.
Analysis on that, because I agree. If Batman would have had like a series like that, they would have introduced way more characters and everything.
Drug it out a bit more.
Drug it out a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas,
but here's when it comes to Jessica Jones and Daredevil comparison, my whole argument on that begins and ends like this. Okay, the guy who started the show, Daredevil show, and was the creator and was the initial showrunner for it before he eventually had to drop out, I think his name was Drew Goddard or something like that.
Goddard.
I can't pronounce his name.
Right.
Yeah, he was a staff writer on Angel, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote the Cloverfield movie. He did Cabin in the Woods. He co-wrote The Martian. Did a lot of other stuff.
A lot of good shit.
Really talented
Great
guy.
resume.
Yeah, a lot of great shit. A lot of great shit. A lot of good stuff. And then you have the lady who did Jessica Jones, who is the lady who co-wrote all the Twilight screenplays.
That explains it all. Just horrible.
And before you continue, I will say, which is why I seriously doubted this show in the beginning, but after watching it, man, just cut that part where it says Twilight out of your resume and just put Jessica Jones, because that's all you need.
That's just...
Well, hold on. Let me get this straight. Maybe you guys could inform me. Is Jessica Jones a made-up character? I don't remember her from the comics at all.
Oh, no.
She's like a D-list character, that's why.
She came up...
Okay.
She originally debuted in Marvel's Max line, which was basically a line they did a couple years ago.
Okay.
I think it was back in the early or mid-2000s.
Yeah, early 2000s.
Which were basically R-rated versions of
characters.
Some of these superheroes.
Oh, okay.
And so it was under the name,
for example,
what was it, Alias?
Yeah, Alias, and it's what kind of also brought Luke Cage back to the spotlight in a way that I will not say over this, because it's a little... The Max line is R-rated. This is X-rated.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
so
it's
and they actually made an Alias show loosely based off it back immediately after it came out, which it had Jennifer Garner and such. Mm-hmm. It was a good show, but this is a loyal adaptation.
I believe that was I believe that was actually J.J. Abrams' first TV show.
Oh wow. Oh, I didn't know that.
Another motherfucker that does everything gold.
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, Johnny Cage, I think they casted him perfect, And this is what I'm also waiting real fast with these Netflix too. Is like, I know they like to mention, huh? What'd you say? Oh, he's talking shit behind the mic. No, I was gonna.
I think you said John. You said
Johnny Cage. Said Johnny Cage. Fucking every time he talks, it opens his mouth and makes his two characters. I swear to God.
Oh
that's the
man.
marijuana.
Man, you know what? You're right. I always call him Johnny Cage, and we're not talking about Mortal Kombat.
No, we're not.
We're not.
The thing is, Luke Cage is a likable character.
But yeah, I think they casted Luke Cage good though. I think he's perfect. What do you think?
When I was watching that show series, I was never engaged enough to where I was just glued to my TV the entire time. Yep. There were many episodes where I just popped it on. It was just kind of background noise.
As far as casting, I'll agree. He's a good Luke Cage, but I agree with Trey. The show in general, just unengaging.
You're right.
Yeah, it's when I kind of started to become aware that not all Netflix seasons need to be 12 episodes long. They could easily reduce that to 6.
Yeah, that's true. They could do like 6 or 8 episodes and just do whatever's best for the character, because other shows on Netflix do it, and also would allow for more more shows and seasons.
Yeah, more.
And I know I'm going to speak heresy here for mentioning this, but I think they could have done something similar with Stranger Things, and it would have come out better.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Don't you fucking talk about Stranger Things like that, okay? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not gonna lie. I put on Stranger Things, and I got through like the first 3 episodes, and I was like, you know what? Not my cup of tea.
I loved it.
Shun the heathen. Shun him.
Go home, Kelly.
I've been shunned. I've been shunned.
Oh, man. Speaking of shunning, why don't we transition over to Mutiny and talk about the whole Pirates, Baywatch, Guardians, Alien, Rotten Tomatoes, and such. That's a big one we need to get through.
Okay, let me talk about Alien Covenant real quick. Let me just get this out of the way. Mm-hmm. How should I best put this to sum up my feelings on Alien Covenant? How should I best
that bad, huh?
He's running around his room just fucking breaking things.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen it yet, but so you're saying I should wait till DVD?
I'm saying if you ever see a DVD, you should burn the store down!
So they should have kept Sigourney in there? Should have had Sigourney.
Hey, the babe approach worked for Baywatch.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that I've gotten that out of my system... Okay. Nobody cares where the fucking xenomorphs came from. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. The whole point of the first movie is that they go to LV-421, whatever the fuck it was called, I can't remember.
Yeah.
They find this derelict spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole horror of it was that you didn't know anything about it. You didn't know what the fuck these things were. You didn't know where they came from.
Yeah.
And in this movie, they give a very detailed explanation as to where these things came from.
Mm.
And it's not the worst idea in the world that they put together. It's actually, thematically, it makes a lot of sense, especially when you consider this is a Prometheus sequel. But the problem is that the movie itself, when all is said and done, is so boring. It is unintentionally hilarious at times. That's when it's at its best. And the rest of the time, it's just so dull. They just keep talking and talking.
Yeah. So a lot of hype.
And of course, and I'm just gonna spoil this because I don't give a fuck. Michael Fassbender plays 2 roles in this movie. Okay, an android named Walter, and he plays David again. David's the bad guy in this. It's going exactly where you think it's going to go. And they think you're supposed to going to be surprised by it.
Oh, man. You know what?
Yeah. I don't give a fuck. I am spoiling that for you because...
That's fine.
I was this close.
So you said burn the store down. He was like, I'm not watching it.
I saw this and thinking to myself... It's like, if they go where I think they're going to go with this, I'm walking out of the theater.
You know what? That's...
I almost did.
Don't worry about it. You know what? I'm not even going to watch it now. At all. I'm not even going to give it... I'm not even going to give it a shot. Yeah.
No, it's bad.
All right, so Guardians?
It's bad.
The Guardians. I haven't got
seen
to
it.
check that out yet either. But
I saw it.
I heard the second one was bad though. I'm getting a lot of bad reviews from the people that did watch it. But I like the first one.
Here's the thing about the Guardians 2, and really all Marvel sequels in general, is that you have the first movie, it's a big hit, everyone loves it, this and that, and then for the sequel, they kind of have to slow things down a bit. They have to kind of draw out the story and draw out the development in order so they can save enough stuff for the big crossover movie that's going to happen a couple of years down the road. And that's why, for example, Iron Man 2 and 3 were just kind of meh.
Right.
Or why, Thor the Dark World was just kind of existed. The only exception to that is the Captain America sequence.
Yeah, they made those really important. They put good plot points in there.
Exactly. And Guardians of the Galaxy 2, it suffers from the same problem, but it doesn't, but the whole movie is all about, the whole overriding theme of it is family, surrogate or otherwise.
Okay.
And it works pretty well. It's not as compelling as the first movie, that's for sure, but it all comes together a lot better than it should have. Even though it's like Iron Man 2 in the sense it's mostly just a bunch of kind of sort of the things that happen that are just kind of loosely strung together.
Yeah, they just try to keep the storyline moving, but yeah.
Yeah. And the post-credit scenes, I will say this much, they kind of suck. The only thing that they hint at is Adam fucking Warlock, and I don't care about Adam Warlock.
Oh yeah, it's like that character.
Yeah, I'm not. I haven't seen it, but I probably will not be overwhelmed with joy as I was with the first one.
Sure.
So it's a decent little movie, but it's definitely not the same great time the first one was. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I just real quick, I'll say one line on this. Baywatch catching a lot of shit. Not anything special, obviously. It's just it's
a lot of ass and titties.
Yeah, and some good jokes. But it's not bad either. It's not special, but it's not bad either.
Oh, I generally like The Rock, and Zac Efron is actually grown on me too a little bit with the whole Neighbors movies and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, Rotten Tomatoes, yeah.
Okay.
Basically,
this is actually something.
Before you get into your
go on.
rant, let me shed some light on why we brought this topic up. So for a long time, a lot of people blame Rotten Tomatoes for poor reception of movies, mostly fans. But now the studios have taken to it. It's blaming them, because Baywatch and Pirates, the same thing. They got bad reviews, and they're trying to say that's why they haven't performed as well. Much like fans do with DC films, or such. But guess what? That's a load of shit, because whether it's Rotten Tomatoes or your friend next door or something, you're gonna want an opinion before you talk. Before you go see the movie, and then you're not gonna want to spend like $50-$60 on a movie that's gonna be a piece of shit, like Trey did with Alien. So
I had a bit of a minor.
Really, it's not Rotten Tomatoes' fault or the reviewers or nothing. So these companies are now saying they're not going to hold critic screenings. What? How are you not going to hold critic screenings?
Critics are going to be critics. Sometimes that's what makes the movie, even better.
The critics are still going to see it when you release it. People are still going to look for the critic's word. So what is the point of doing that at all?
I also want to expand that a little.
Mm-hmm.
See, the problem with movie studios is that they come up with these just imaginary statistics and numbers that in their minds should equal a hit movie. Okay, And let's take Baywatch for example. Okay, it's a Gen X nostalgia property. It's starring two big stars in the form of like The Rock and Zac Efron. It's an action movie. It's a comedy. We should make a boatload of money off of this. Right. And sometimes that works. Okay, it works quite often actually. You know, not Transformers movies. Enough said. They're terrible, but you know they still make. Yeah, you still want to watch them. You know. Yeah, and of course the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe are effectively Gen X and baby boomer nostalgia properties. So this is like it's like the. I think right now, as of right now, it's the highest grossing film franchise of all time. Yeah. But what kind of confuses them is when this formula doesn't work. And they immediately start looking for things to blame. And the question is never... And the first thing that comes up is it's never, oh, did we make a bad movie? Did we make a mistake? No, they always try to throw this on other people. They always try to throw other things under the bus in order to avoid taking responsibility for themselves. For example, what was working against Baywatch? Well, for one thing, it literally came out in the same month as Alien Covenant, Pirates of the Caribbean, and of course, now we have Wonder Woman coming out. Right.
And not only that, but Guardians was still in theaters.
Yeah, Guardians was still in theaters too.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of competition. And the way it used to work in the old days, or well, not even really old days, because the way it used to work anyway, was that you'd have a big release come out. There would be another movie that would come out the next weekend. And it would usually be sort of a smaller budgeted movie, something like that, something that could actually make a decent amount of money and actually make a profit off of by having those number 2 numbers. You know, whereas the big release would still make a boatload of money, or would still make a boatload of money that week. The number 2 movie would actually be able to recoup its budget and all that within the opening weekend, and that's generally how it went for a long time. But in recent years, the studios have been starting to cram as many movies into every single weekend as they possibly can. Right. May in particular is the most profitable month during the entire summer. So that's why we have, Guardians or we had Alien Covenant, Pirates, and Baywatch, all within 2 weeks of each other.
Yeah, right.
So it's one of those weird scenarios where everybody's trying to make all the money instead of just some of the money,
Right.
And on top, so there's all that. And the other thing that's the problem is this. And for some reason they didn't count on this. I don't know how you make, $150 million movie and nobody realizes this before, you ever even start a casting call. Nobody gives a shit about Baywatch.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit about
I was gonna say, these bad movies make money regardless, just from the hype alone. Yeah. And, sometimes, some of these movies you're really hyped up about, and then you go there and you're like, what the fuck, man?
That's my point is, don't blame the critics. Stop blaming them for giving bad scores to shitty movies. If it's a shitty movie, it's going to get a shitty score.
Exactly, because if you're a fan, you're going to go watch that movie regardless. And then you're going to hate it because it wasn't up to your expectations. So,
but you still saw it, you still spent the money.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, no, and the thing is that if somebody was to say, okay, like if some studio executive was to say, okay, I greenlisted this movie, it was a mistake, I'm sorry. Guess what's going to happen to that guy?
He's going to get fired.
Oh, man.
He's going to get fired.
His opinion won't be credible anymore. Be like, what are you doing? What, you had to watch the movie twice or something, dork? Just to like it again?
Yeah, no. No, so they don't, so they'll always just look at this and they'll point and say, okay, well, I don't know what the hell happened. All the numbers said this movie should have been a hit. All the statistics said this movie should have been a hit. Oh, look, these film critics are giving us negative press. It must be them. Ass covered, job secure.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? And here's There's another part about this Rotten Tomatoes thing, another side of the way people view things with Trey's itching to get to. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to come back to this topic because it kind of relates to something of a previous movie. But the point is, some fans blame critics almost too much. Like, they think because a critic gives a review that it's meant for them and it's a personal attack. It's just an honest opinion. If you don't like that reviewer, if he doesn't suit the way you view things, go find a reviewer who does.
Exactly.
Don't attack that reviewer like as if he's making the article to make a point to you.
I think a great example is that whole Ben Affleck being Batman. Everybody I knew was like, oh, I can't see Ben Affleck being the new Batman and he's going to bomb and all that. And then I watched the movie, and I almost kind of was like, they're probably right. Then I go to the movie and I watch it and I'm like, wait, this is the best Bruce Wayne I've seen. In the at least in the Christian Bale movies. Right. I think I like him better than Christian Bale. And
before I just want to say, I stuck behind Ben Affleck since day one, and anybody who told me wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the point. Everybody has different views, and Trey, I think you want to take it from here.
Okay, well, let me just add a little bit to that whole Ben Affleck thing first. I will say this much. I despise Batman v Superman. I will never be able to say that enough. I fucking hate that movie so much. I absolutely hate that movie. But I will say Ben Affleck really surprised me as Bruce Wayne.
Well, that's what I mean. I think the movie wasn't all that, but as just in a vacuum, him as Batman, I think he did a pretty good job. Better than what people were saying, at least.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the movie was garbage.
No. Thank you.
It was. You know what? If they would have just kept Doomsday out of the trailer, I mean, I think it would have been a little bit more shock value, But once you put that in there, you knew that Superman was gonna die. I mean, come on.
Yeah. But okay, but yeah, what for some reason there are certain people out there who, if you were, if you just say, you'd like give a negative review on a movie or whatever, they think it's like, or don't like the same things you do. They take it as a personal attack against you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why this is. And even here on the Nerd Hub, some of the articles I've written and whatnot, not all of them are all that popular, I guess you might say. Some people have had some really negative things to say about my opinions on here, but and you know what? For the most part, I'm willing to let that go. I did a Guardians of the Galaxy article where I compared to the Brian Michael Bendis run to the original run that came out in the late 2008s.
Mm-hmm.
And people's reaction to that, I'm trying to think how to word this. You guys still there?
Oh yeah, definitely listening.
Okay, people's reaction to that, I sort of understand, because when it seems like in their minds, Brian Michael Bendis is the bad guy. He is the guy who is ruining the industry. He is the one who's chasing trends. He is the one who is they see a medium that is basically becoming more about the larger movie side of things, and they don't like this. I understand that, in all honesty. I get that. But they in that particular version, they actually attacked my credibility a lot. It's like, dude, you didn't, it's clear you're, they basically called me a comic noob.
Well,
There's no other way to put it. They called me a comic noob. And I'm just like, okay. And I shouldn't be reading, and I shouldn't be reading this kind of stuff if, I shouldn't be reading, cosmic comics if I'm not into, the whole space-time continuum thing and all that jazz. I was like, okay, did you even read my article?
Right.
Okay, I mentioned that, I do bring this up. And what I said in this was that is that these kinds of, space-time continuum ending events, they're cool. They're good. They do work sometimes, okay? Just take a look at Star Trek The Next Generation. They happen every now and then, and it's great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But if you were to have that as every single major story arc of the show series, it would get boring really fast.
Agreed.
And that's one of the main things that I was bringing up in that, and they didn't seem to understand this.
Huh.
And they kept saying, like I said, kept calling me, a noob in this and whatnot, but it's just like, I'm kind of ranting. I'm clearly ranting at this point.
Yeah. Basically, the point is,
I had a point with that one, but now I seem to have lost it. I was going somewhere that I had lost it. But when it comes to people, like you said, personally
attacking you, saying
like,
that you're a comic noob, it's like...
Yeah, like, if you don't like their opinion, don't read them.
Exactly.
Don't read them.
Exactly. Well, okay. So, yeah, like, this is going into the other thing that I really wanted to talk about earlier. So, for this particular scenario, we're going to call this guy Tom. Okay? Even though, because I don't want to directly call him out.
Okay, so Tom the douchebag.
A libel suit on my head. Tom is a douchebag.
Yeah.
Tom
I'm not even going to comment on
once
this.
saw... Okay. Tom saw an article I did on Batman v Superman a year ago.
Okay.
And ever since then, every single article I have done on the Nerd Hub, he is always trying to jump on my ass about some kind of supposed prejudice I have against DC.
Oh. Is this true, though? Is this accusation true? Are you a critic against DC movies? No, right?
If I don't like them, I am.
What?
If I don't like them, I am.
Right. No, sure.
I mean...
Well, why did he think that? I mean, he just pretty much...
Because,
Because,
because, like I said, I didn't like Man of Steel. I didn't make a secret out of the fact that I didn't like Man of Steel, and he is one of these overly obsessed DC fanboys.
Exactly. Okay, I get you.
Yeah, and so I did an article on Wonder Woman Earth 1.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he read it.
Yeah, apparently.
And he sees this, and his comment on it, I'm trying to find the actual thing right now. It's taking a minute because my laptop's a POS. But his comment on it was along the lines of, he basically quotes it saying, the first thing I said, DC, we'll find in a week's time. We'll find out if Wonder Woman is able to salvage the mess of the DC extended universe. And his comment is, shaking my damn head.
I said I was
one paragraph into the, one paragraph into this article, and he's already giving DC shit.
I said I wasn't gonna comment.
He said yeah.
But I am gonna comment. That article, he commented on it said, the DC films have been a mess so far, but Wonder Woman looks like it's going to change it. It was very positive for Wonder Woman movie, but he knocked the previous movies. He took it as you were knocking Wonder Woman as well, but that's not what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though the next sentence actually said, the movie does look promising. The action looks fun. The characters, it's made full of character actors who are always fun to watch.
So he's just
but he completely ignores
he's just a heckler.
He's trolling. What was really bugged me about it though is, I'm just reading this and I'm just like, why? Why do you care so much about what I have to say?
I mean, to me,
if you don't,
he seems like a fan.
No, it's just,
Yeah. Okay, well, let's wrap this whole topic up because we're running out of time. But the point, in short, is either read it and bitch about it, or don't read it and don't bitch about it. Either way, have fun.
Yeah, it's definitely about having fun.
But it's like, okay,
it's not personal.
It's just. Why do you view this as some kind of personal attack against you? Why are you getting so offended over
it's like
a difference of opinion over a couple of movies.
Yeah, it seems like he's a DC agent or something, maybe, jumping on your page.
He's like Todd McFarlane and Tom King.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. But no. This rant did not go as elegantly as I had.
No, definitely not, because we've been through it a few times between us, so you've probably been drawn out. But so we got a couple things left to cover. 1, Rebirth. 2, Watchmen. 3 is the DC series and Titans, and 4 is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Inhumans, and then a Harry Potter fan film. Okay. So, take your pick, Trey. Oh, you know what? Actually, before we move on, we do actually have a topic about this, but we're going to try and keep this short. It's related to the Rotten Tomatoes thing, and we were talking about how, like, studios and executives and shit, recently Dan Aykroyd, who Trey hates as well,
likes all my favorite people, hates all my favorite
came out and said that the Ghostbusters movie, Paul Feig, the director, reshot things that he should have shot originally, and they told him to, but he didn't, and he wasted a shit ton of money on reshoots, and if he hadn't done that, the film would have still been successful. That's what he's basically saying.
Oh wow.
But this whole thing relates to Wonder Woman, just like the Rotten Tomatoes, because the director stood by his vision, but it didn't turn out well. Mm-hmm. Now, Zack Snyder stood by his vision, turned out well financially, but not critically. But Patty Jenkins in Wonder Woman got a 92, is averaging a 92 on Rotten Tomatoes, because
something like that, yeah.
She stood by her vision as well, but she did it perfect. She had literally 0 reshoots. I mean, no, not 0 reshoots, 0 deleted scenes, and she had 1 reshoot throughout the whole thing, and it was a small part. There's a scene in there where she's walking through, going up to No Man's Land, but before she gets there, in the original version, it's just them walking and talking. But she reshot it because she wanted to add some brutality to sell Wonder Woman's view on the brutality of it. And they added where a horse was stuck in mud and they were whipping it and they were dying around it and such.
Aww.
And that's all they added. Nothing changed.
Right.
And 0 deleted scenes.
That's impressive.
And you know what? We're going to go right into the Wonder Woman reviews on my part. And basically, that movie was easily 9 out of 10.
Really?
You can tell that she made exactly how she wanted to make it. You could tell that there's no deleted scenes. You could tell the pacing was incredible. Everything. Acting, visuals. There's this one scene where they had Chris Pine in the end in a plane going up into the air and shooting backwards.
Oh.
And they literally put it so that he was tilted so that he felt as if he was going that way. And they had moonlight lights and stuff. So she really brought it, the atmosphere. And the actors she said that after that, she literally just put the camera there and the actors did their thing.
Oh, wow.
And so it was really good.
That sounds like a good one. I gotta check that out. Definitely gonna check it out.
I still have not seen it myself, but regarding that, I don't mean to be sounding like I'm throwing Zack Snyder under a bus, because I do think he is a talented director.
Uh-huh.
I really liked 300. I liked his Dawn of the Dead remake. I really liked Watchmen. Sucker Punch had its moments.
Yeah, I agree.
Even Owls of Cthulhu, which was a little animated movie he directed, was actually it's a decent little movie to watch.
I catch that.
It's a cartoon, it's a kids movie, but it's a decent little kids movie.
Huh.
But it became kind of obvious after Batman v Superman that he probably wasn't the best fit for a mainstream superhero franchise. And that's just somehow how it goes.
Yeah. And
sometimes have a director who just is just ill suited to a particular franchise.
Right.
It's like as if.
My question is, who did Suicide Squad again?
David Ayer.
David
You
Ayer.
know,
David Ayer.
Just with that whole thing, I think they really messed that movie up. You
The
got
movie-
the Joker thing going on, and Joker's not in it a lot, and then they come out with
I
another.
think it was too much.
You think he was in too much?
Yeah.
I mean, the original. I mean, like the one that came out.
The original
'cause I know
cut?
they got a bunch of.
Yeah, even the original cut, I think.
I didn't think they showed him.
Here's
enough.
the thing. David Ayer's another thing. Very good director. If you look at his other movies, he excels in everything he writes, directs. Okay, one blunder wasn't his thing. Whatever, you know. It's,
Yeah.
So, and now he's going to be on Gotham City Sirens, which is more Gotham focused, and I think that's better for him anyway.
Sure.
Because he does well with crime.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They took him into Suicide Squad because it's his Fury movie, which is war. But that's not his high point. That was just a good movie from him.
Well, when you get right down to it, it kind of seems like the entire, aside from Wonder Woman, maybe. I still haven't seen it, so I'm gonna reserve my thoughts on that one until later. But regarding the DC movies, it always seems like each and every one of these movies is built on insecurity.
Oh yeah.
With,
Nailed it.
Yeah, with Man of Steel, it was.
Don't you talk about that fucking movie?
I feel like they're playing catch up with Marvel.
Well, no, it's not just so much that. It's that when you see Man of Steel, and you look at Superman Returns, okay, it seems like the entire movie was built around the idea of not being Superman Returns. You know, there's
Right.
Superman never punches anybody in Superman Returns, so he punches a shitload of people in Man of Steel.
Right.
They overthink their stuff is the problem.
Yeah.
And
And also Superman Returns is bright and colorful. This movie is really desaturated. It's so focused on not being that version or not being the Richard Donner movie that.
And that's where you
failed
can
to get
tell
its own sense of identity.
the studio interference is a problem.
Yeah.
But with Wonder Woman, you could tell they did not do that. And that was after Jeff Johns, most of it anyway, came in as the head of DC Entertainment. So that's probably why.
Yeah.
Another couple facts about Wonder Woman.
Also,
This was actually Patty Jenkins' first film on the big screen since her Oscar-winning 2003 film Monster,
Oh wow.
which also had no deleted scenes.
Is that the one with? Wait a minute. No deleted scenes. That's the one with Halle Berry or no?
No, not Monster Ball. No, just Monster.
I was gonna say they did that in one
Monster
take.
was a movie with Charlize Theron, and it was
Yeah,
it
and
was about, I don't remember the
Christina
woman's name. It was about,
Ricci
like,
or
the
whatever her
first-
name is.
I don't know. She's like from the South or something.
Yeah,
like
I don't
that.
know.
It's like a hooker who turned into a serial killer.
Yeah, it's
Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about now. Yep. She. Yeah. Now I know. That's not.
You gotta break it up there, Kelly. I can't hear
Yeah,
you.
it's the uglier one. Halle Berry. Yeah. Sorry, mine's in the gutter.
yeah, she did. What did she start on? Addams Family, right?
Oh yeah.
Fucking.
Christina Ricci, yeah, and Charlize Theron was the main
blonde
woman, and she looked nothing like her.
Yeah,
Yeah, she looked completely different. She's actually really fine, but they made her look ugly
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah. Also, my last Wonder Woman fact. So after the critic screenings, before the film even released, Warner Brothers confirmed that there will be a Wonder Woman 2. And they didn't say anything other than that. But Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot are both on contract for another film, so I'd assume they'd bring them both back. Sure. And Patty Jenkins sat down and with the interview with all the other facts and said that she wants to bring it to America in the second one. So, in case anyone crying about it not being in America.
Yeah. I was gonna say I want to rant about that for just a couple minutes. Fox News people saying it's not American enough. What?
Right. It's.
Okay.
I'm sorry. First of
what
all,
would be more,
Wonder Woman is not
what would be
American,
more
okay?
American?
So
Yeah,
get that out of your fucking head.
What would?
I mean,
Yeah.
she is.
Okay. So what would be more American for you, Mr. and Mrs. Fox News anchor? Does she have to be making Superman a sandwich for him to be American enough?
Superman's got to grab her by
Is
the
that
pussy.
your definition of American? Does she have to be running around with the flag wrapped around her naked body.
And that's why they were like,
huh?
They were like, she didn't have the Star Spangled trunks. That was their big thing.
Oh,
like,
well,
first of all, she's not even in America in the film, so shut the fuck up. Okay.
Yeah, times has changed.
She's not American, period. She's from Themyscira.
Yeah.
She's Greek.
And she went to London, so why the hell would she have the Star Spangled? It makes zero sense.
Yeah.
And Fox News should be shut down for a lot of reasons, but that one right there, I might just go shut the building down myself.
I say we.
No. We are not advocating terrorism.
No, I was talking about cutting the electric. Jeez.
Okay.
Peaceful protest.
Trey, always going to the, worst comes to the worst situation.
Yeah, when you're thinking around 6, I'm thinking 11.
Yeah, you're thinking code red.
But no, it's just and World War I, that was a very non-American war when all is said and done.
Yeah,
we were only in it for like 1 year.
That's
so I'm
good point. I mean, we sure did clean up though.
Kelly, I can barely hear you, man. I'm not sure what's going on.
Who, me?
Yeah, I can barely hear you.
Oh. Let's see. How about now?
You're still really quiet.
Well, it must be this, I don't know.
Deal with it. I'm dealing with your quiet ass.
Okay, well, anyway. So moving on from that little rant, I mean, that was just, God. What else do we have to do? What else?
Okay, let's start with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Inhumans. There's a little discrepancy people have not been understanding. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got renewed for season 5. But it was then moved to Fridays, and Inhumans was taking its spot. Now, then they said Inhumans will air in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. spot, and then after Inhumans ends, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will still be on Fridays, but it'll take over afterwards and play without any breaks. It just back to back 23 episodes. Now, if it's a good final season, it's not going to be 22, 23 episodes. It's going to be 13, 11.
Right.
And the only reason it's on Friday is because another show has that time slot at that time after Inhumans. So the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ratings are very, very good. So it's not being canceled. It's not the last year. After this Inhumans event this year, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will move back to where it's supposed to be next season. And no, it won't die on Friday because it's got a huge following. It's Marvel. Even if the ratings do drop a little, they're going to give it another season.
Yeah. I think as long as they keep cranking out these Marvel movies, it keeps it relevant. And people are...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, I just wanted to get that out there because people keep being like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s final season. No, it's not. No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure some people wish it'd be a
Hey, I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is one of those... is pretty much the show that has defied everything put against it and said to it, and it still keeps growing slowly but surely, and it's got a solid core fan base because of it. And you know what, the way they're doing their episodes now in like 6-7 episode arcs rather than a season long arc or an episode arc, dude, that's how all shows should do it for comic books. Do it just like comic books. 6 or 7 issues, a volume, an arc. Trey, anything on that or move on?
Yeah. Move on. I'm not really a big,
Alright, so...
I don't watch TV. You know this.
Yeah, I know. Fuck. Oh, by the way, Inhumans looks like trash.
Oh.
I'm not surprised.
I'll still watch it, but it looks like trash. Rebirth. Rebirth. I finally started reading Rebirth. Yay! This thing's been out for like, a year and a half.
Yeah.
I'm behind it too. I've only gotten like 7 weeks in, and
yeah, I don't feel bad, guys. I haven't started it either.
Finally have some context. I finally have some context as to that whole freaking comedian thing in the main DC universe.
Oh.
That could go either way, I feel. I feel that could go either way.
We're gonna have to fill Kelly in.
Yeah,
Because Kelly actually hasn't read it.
Yeah, at all.
Okay, so what happened is that there was this little mini-series they did called DC Universe Rebirth.
Right.
And it had Wally West, Flash, running around trying to basically become whole again. Like, he got deleted from the timeline because of some shit that happened in another event called the Flashpoint.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I know all about that. So this takes birth after.
That's what caused the whole. It's what caused the whole New 52.
I got you. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So. In the end.
What the explanation? Yeah, but what the explanation apparently is that when basically Barry kept fucking up the timeline in certain media. That when he was trying to refix it or whatever, apparently Dr. Manhattan used this to completely reshape the timeline of the DC universe.
So basically, what they're trying to say is Dr. Manhattan, who's part of the Watchmen, the blue guy,
part of what? Yeah, right.
He's the reason for New 52, and he did it because he was fucking bored.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wait a minute.
That's what it seems to be going for, but I don't think
I'm not going to spoil anything, but that's where after the first event and after the final page, that's what it looks like. And so Trey's like,
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
like I said, when I was reading it, I felt I was looking at it and I was just like, this could either be the best use of Watchmen since Alan Moore ended the series, or it could be the worst.
Yeah, right.
It could go either way.
So what was this comedian thing about? The comedian.
Oh, that's. Excuse me for 1 second, guys.
No problem. Yeah, because
I have a problem.
I need to see. Was it Dr. Manhattan versus Superman? That's what I need to see.
Dr. Manhattan will win. I want to see it too because I hate Superman.
I mean, can he really tear him apart like in the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
No, he ended up with the thing with the comedian's little badge or whatever because he was Batman was the first one that Wally tried to visit.
Oh, okay.
And because of some wibbly wobbly timey wimey Speed Force bullshit, lightning struck it and it just ended up engraved in his wall.
Oh, so did it still have the piece of blood on it? Did it have the bean juice?
Yeah, I don't know why.
So, but
I don't know why.
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but you could tell that they are continuously a major part of this rebirth because they even have now this event called the Button, and it's like the first rebirth event or one of them anyway.
Okay.
So they're a major part of it, and that's where we go into what they're going to be doing with Watchmen, because in 2015 they said that they were going to do a Zack Snyder live action series rated R on HBO. And then nothing. And then like last year they said there's still plans for Watchmen. Then recently they said that they're going to be doing a rated R Watchmen series animated. Now, as to where it goes, they didn't say, and they didn't say anything about the live action either. So they might still do both. They might just do the one. It's not a series, the animated one. It's a movie, which is why they might still do the live action series on top of it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But, and with them coming back into the comics, you could tell they're going to be making Watchmen some front-running characters for the franchise.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Wait, hold on. I'm a little confused. So they're making a animated movie?
Yes.
Or they're making an animated show series?
No, movie. The first reports coming out was there was a series, and then they came out with the reports that it was going to be an R-rated movie.
Huh.
Much
that
like
could be
Killing
interesting.
Joke.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's just some
I
tidbits.
don't really have any thoughts on that, to tell you the truth. I really like Zack Snyder's Watchmen movie, and I really like the comic, but I don't really need another adaptation of it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie pretty much did its justice.
But we might still. The reason I'm saying we might still get the series. This is a segue into the next thing, but you could tell that DC, with Krypton and Titans and Young Justice and Constantine, who now are all back on track in some way or another, even though they went on hiatus with no word for 2 or 3 years,
Right.
you can tell DC doesn't forget about its projects.
No doubt.
It definitely comes back to them, because now you got Titans and Young Justice Season 3 on the DC streaming service in 2018 launching together. Titans is filming, I think, November, and down in Georgia. So even if you see some new news related, don't ever just assume that something's out of the picture, because DC comes back to their shit.
Yeah.
Seems like they have been. That's what
And I think the last thing we're gonna talk about, news-wise, before we do the last of our what we're gonna be doing with the Nerd Hub, in our projects, is the Harry Potter fan film.
Yeah, what is that about? I heard
So,
something about that yesterday.
so you know how when the Star Trek fan film was made and it looked like it was actually gonna make millions, and Paramount came in and placed these like ridiculous fucking rules to like try and say no, you're not making money off of, well, another project, Voldemort Origin of the Heir, was fan funded and it was gaining traction, and WB went ahead and said go make it. They just greenlit it, so it's gonna be coming out. And I like that, because much like the Power Rangers R-rated little mini movie, I don't know if you've seen it.
Didn't catch that.
It's by
Power Rangers.
Adi Shankar, or whatever his name is. Yeah, you've seen it, right, Trey?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, so he made also a fan film, and they greenlit that, and it was R-rated, and it was pretty good. And just recently, earlier this year, it was so good and so well received that Saban, or whatever his name is, that does Power Rangers, said, go ahead and make an R-rated TV series.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah. So that'll be coming too.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Power Rangers rated R. You know what? I gotta catch that other one, because I've never really even seen Power Rangers in that light.
Oh, the one that came out this summer?
Yeah, the one.
Or the bootleg version?
The bootleg or whatever.
I'll show you that after we're done.
Yeah, because that's interesting.
The movie that actually came out, that actually did not make very much money. I think it made like $150 million on a $200 million budget.
Ooh.
You talking about the fan film?
No, the movie, right?
No, the movie that came out.
Oh yeah. It wasn't. But they're still gonna make more. The sequel's already in the works.
They're gonna make more apparently because the toy sales were good.
Exactly.
Oh, there you go.
They made their money
Is
up,
that not Power
just not in the
Rangers
movies.
in a nutshell, though. Jesus Christ.
And you know what? It's toys. That's what people don't realize. There's a lot of funds that come in. They might not necessarily make their money at the box office, but they make it off of merchandise and DVD sales and promotions and shit. So they are making the money a lot of times that it doesn't really seem. Like, for instance, Young Justice was canceled because toy sales sucked.
Yeah.
Green Lantern, the animated series, same thing. Toy sales sucked.
Well, I mean, I think who makes the best toys is Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane is great. I'm messing with Trey on that one. So.
Yeah, while we're talking about that, I want to go back real quick to talk about going back to that whole Guardians of the Galaxy thing. And one of the things that they brought up was that Brian Michael Bendis, like the people who didn't like my articles, brought up that Brian Michael Bendis, he's a big trend guy, he's always following trends, the movies that are ruining the comics, this and that. Okay, people, a couple things. One, Guardians of the Galaxy was never that popular.
Right, no.
Not a single issue ever broke 50,000 in sales. It was never in the top 40.
Yep.
And nobody knew what the fuck this series was before
You can't-
the movie came out.
Yeah, you can't ruin something that never was there.
Yeah, I agree.
And the second thing is this. Comics have always done this. And when I say always, I mean literally always.
Yep.
I mean, if you go all the way back to the old Superman cartoon, for example. Superman couldn't fly before that show came on, or those film movies, those little animated movies.
Mm-hmm.
He just jumped around, and the reason why he started flying was because the guys who were making the movies put in a request to the comic company that what would become DC to actually have the character fly because of the limits of animation at the time.
Interesting.
And now of course flying is like pretty much the most popular superpower in all of comics.
Yeah.
So this is not a new thing, giving Brian Michael Bendis,
and it proves it's not. It's also not always a bad thing either.
No, absolutely not. But giving Brian Michael Bendis shit because he decided to be a bit more in line with the movies, or that he put together Civil War 2 to cash in on the movie that was coming out. Yeah, you don't get to sit on a high horse about that, because this is something that comics and their companies have literally
always done. So you can't blame just him and say he's ruining it when that's literally how comics are done.
Yeah, it's literally an industry-wide problem. I wouldn't say problem; it's an industry-wide thing.
Right. It's the formula.
When The Dark World was coming out, they put an entire story revolving around that Dark Elf, Malekith, I believe his name was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that story turned out really fucking good.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's all.
I just wanted to.
Yeah. No, that makes good points, and it's like, so. Okay, so that actually looks like we're through all of the news bits that we really wanted to talk about. So I'm gonna go ahead and let everyone know about what we're doing, upcoming, and then we're gonna sign off because we're running up to our time. Real quick, on our social media, we do like news headlines. We don't really do like full articles like most sites do. We just put the summary of everything in the caption and post it with a picture. We're gonna actually do a newswire on our page, but it's not on our website. But it's not gonna be articles. It's gonna be a page, like a blog, and we're gonna stack them on top of each other and do a 1 to 3 paragraph summary. We're not gonna try and make a whole article out of it and shit, because it's
get straight to the point.
Yeah. It's just pointless.
We have jobs.
Yeah, right.
We have jobs.
Lives, yeah.
So that's one thing that's coming out is the newswire. So keep an eye out for it on our website. Like I said, the events, giveaways, and contests page. Always look at that. We got gaming tournaments, meetups, cons, all kinds of stuff. Our upcoming projects page changed. We used to do it like worded, what we're doing, but things kind of change often, so now we just make a poster and it's coming up soon. We got a lot of roundtables coming out for the end of TV season.
CW.
We have a ongoing 9-part series that we did at mid-season as well with all the CW DC shows. So we're going to run through Legends, Flash, Arrow, and Supergirl for the end of season. Legends should be out tonight or tomorrow morning or something like that. Then we got Lucifer, Gotham, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Riverdale, and then American Gods. So. Yeah, American Gods. And the all the ones I listed at the end.
It's good. It's great. Watch
it. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. That's
all the ones I listed at the end, they're not going to be end of season reviews. They're going to be full season reviews because we didn't do a mid season. So there's that. If you haven't read Trey's Wonder Woman article that he's mentioned, and go ahead and read it. It's his latest comic book spotlight.
Check that out, Tom.
Gonna be doing a Friday the 13th video game spotlight myself. We're gonna actually be jumping on Metacritic as the Nerd Hub because it's just got it. People have a large fan base for Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes and such, but we looked on how to get onto Rotten Tomatoes and it was official. Not happening. Not happening right now. So we're gonna go to Metacritic, and basically for every review we do for video games or comic or whatever, we'll basically put a summed up, much like I'm talking about with the Newswire review, and then a link to our full breakdown and analysis.
Oh wow, that's sweet.
But, I was gonna say we're only gonna be doing like user ones, so we can actually get more.
Right, it's a user.
Okay.
It's because Metacritic is where we're gonna go for you, because it's almost all user. I think it's all user. I'm not sure, but yeah, Rotten Tomatoes.
They do have their official reviews.
Rotten Tomatoes is pretty much official, and we don't make the quite guidelines yet.
Okay.
So we're gonna be doing a user account, but it'll be branded as the Nerd Hub and such.
Sweet. Nice.
We got a upcoming project, no date set though, for a event with Geek Vibes, who we partner with and do a lot of stuff with. They have a new segment coming out called Geek Vibes Collides, and it's where they do a trivia showdown with other companies.
Oh wow.
And we're gonna be doing that with them.
Nice.
Then we got E3 coverage. We're not gonna be doing nothing crazy because, like I said, we work a lot. We got our regular stuff coming out. We got all these other projects, and Trey's gonna be doing AwesomeCon. So it's just gonna be me. I'm just gonna be doing news on it and videos and shares and stuff. So follow our Facebook page and Twitter, and go join us on our Facebook group to discuss it. Because that's where that's mostly gonna be. Christian, our artist, he's gonna be helping with some like Facebook Live chats and discussions of reveals.
To see some of his work.
Oh yeah, that's true. Speaking of, another thing we got going on is it's gonna be a live watch and react series.
Yeah. And
basically, we're gonna pick a show and we're gonna watch it and react and review as we're watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Or
movies,
right? Just like every format we do, Roundtables, Comic Book Spotlight, we will do different shows and movies. But the first one we're going to do is Rick and Morty Season 3.
Yes, which I can't wait. That's going to be great.
So, that's pretty much everything we got going on. Trey, anything you want to add before we sign off?
Not particularly. I think most of the stuff I already mentioned earlier in the video on the podcast. Mm-hmm. So no, not particularly this time.
Right, and
join the group, like the Facebook pages, and and of course I always have to say this at the end of everything: give me money. I have a Patreon, please.
Oh yeah, Patreon. Trey's got a Patreon.
Give me money.
I'm probably gonna make one myself. Yeah. So, see us. Drop the like, drop the subscribe.
Yep,
go click our links on at the end of this video to Geek Vibes and such. And see you next time.
All right, folks. Have a good one.
All right. You guys have a nice day, and
thanks for having me too.
I don't have a clever closing. Okay, goodbye.